For this game one, out there on the court, Hardaway and Marbury in the backcourt for Phoenix. Scott Williams in the middle, Sean Marion and Amari Stoudemire at the forwards. San Antonio with Tony Parker, Steven Jackson, Malik Rose already in the game for David Robinson, who has 2 fouls. They've got Tim Duncan up front along with Bruce Bowen. San Antonio down by 4. 7 points scored already by the rookie sensation Amari Stoudemire of the Phoenix Suns. To the left baseline goes Parker. Here's the outside shot for Steven Jackson, and the rebound to Phoenix. And guess who has it? Stoudemire.
I tell you, they're doing a great job of controlling that defensive backboard. And again, it's going to come down to rebounding when it's all said and done.
Hardaway hounded by Bowen. Hardaway with a tough shot on the way, and Rose corrals the rebound. Tony Parker at the point for the San Antonio Spurs, and during the regular season he had his hands full with Stephon Marbury. Missed shot by Rose. Duncan with the rebound. Regular season series was won by the 8th seed Phoenix, 3-1. A straight-on look at a 3 by Parker, and Duncan with the rebound, and a loose ball foul called on San Antonio. And the third member of our broadcast team, Doris Burke, with more on this point guard matchup.
Well, our spotlight tonight, the respective point guards. Stephon Marbury's been an impossible guard for San Antonio. 32 points, nearly 9 assists in the 4 games, leading Phoenix to 3 wins. San Antonio will counter with 6'2" Tony Parker, just 20 years old in his 2nd year. But the key for San Antonio, better team defense against Marbury. And Greg, that means the bigs at times will come out for San Antonio, trap. And you believe that takes away from one of San Antonio's strengths.
Oh, definitely. It's going to hurt them, I think, on their ability to control that defensive backboard. As we've seen early, the relentlessness of Amari Stoudemire.
San Antonio the steal, Malik Rose to the hoop for the jam, and that gets the crowd into it. Phoenix has already made 3 changes in the lineup. Joe Johnson handling the ball right now has come off the bench. Bo Outlaw, who just had it, gives it up to Sean Marion. Jake Voskuhl is also in there for the Suns in place of Scott Williams. Marbury to Outlaw. And the Spurs another steal.
Again, the Phoenix having guys making plays who are not accustomed to doing that. You got to expect Stephon to step up offensively with this 2nd unit.
Steven Jackson lines up a 3, and San Antonio takes the lead.
First 3 they hit tonight, and they got a great look. He got a chance to set his feet, shoot the ball in rhythm. Those are the kinds of threes you want this Spurs team taking if you're a Spurs fan.
Jackson with 9 of their 15. Marbury on the miss, and Duncan clears for the Spurs. San Antonio having scored the last 5 with a 1-point lead. 3:28 left in the quarter. Parker with a pitch out to Bowen. Steven Jackson hounded by Joe Johnson. Now it's Duncan.
Oh, that is just an amazing shot. Going baseline, fading away with the double team. He's still able to knock it down.
7 straight for the Spurs. 4 of his first 7, including a 3-point field goal, and 9 points scored. Doris?
Coach Johnson told his guys, relax, this is a game of runs, and fellas, expect a change to his zone defense when Phoenix gets back defensively.
Marbury out front, and off the ball a whistle. Eddie F. Rush has a call away from the play. Foul is on Malik Rose, and that's his first.
I tell you what, I'm still surprised that Phoenix went to their bench and brought 3 guys and 3 substitutes. You're asking for trouble when you make a move like that.
And things were going so well because they were up 14-10 at the time. The Suns were. Marbury around a Voskuhl pick, and a blocking foul called on Manu Ginobili, who is also new to the lineup for the San Antonio Spurs in this game.
Well, this is something I expected, although when they do make the change and bring in the bench, you expect Stephon to step it up offensively, try to become more aggressive, and this is something you don't often see, him getting to the free throw line. I was talking with Tim Gergerich before the game, one of the assistants. He said because he's so strong and explosive, when he goes in there, he never gets knocked out. So he never gets the call, so therefore he doesn't shoot the amount of free throws that one would expect from a guy like Stephon Marbury.
But when he does get there, he shoots them very well, 80% during the regular season, and Marbury with the first 2 points of this game. 2:50 left in the quarter, a 1-point lead for the Spurs. A little more backcourt pressure here by Phoenix. Ginobili handles against Joe Johnson. Duncan posting, draws the double team. Nice move to Rose for the easy one.
Great touch pass by Duncan. Must have had eyes in the back of his head on that one. He knew Malik Rose was going to be under that basket.
Game 3 of our triple header this afternoon, the opening day of the NBA playoffs. So far, a home team has won, New Jersey, and a road team, Boston, has shocked Indiana. And here's an offensive foul called on Joe Johnson. And when we're done with hoops, it's the National Hockey League and the Stanley Cup playoffs tonight. 3-point lead for San Antonio. Steven Jackson under to Rose. He's got another layup. Malik Rose making himself available.
I tell you, just no court awareness defensively for Phoenix. Again, their bench has not stepped up and contributed thus far.
The
Spurs, that's having a huge impact.
Yeah, the Spurs have scored 11 of the last 13. Marbury around an outlaw pick. Finds outlaw down the lane. Contact, no call. Loose ball goes to San Antonio. Parker. Jackson. Tip try miss. Ginobili and cleared by Voskuil. Up the middle goes Marbury. Looks the defense away. Couldn't finish off the layup. Duncan nearly carried. Ginobili gets it to Parker. The ball is being handled like a hot potato, but the San Antonio Spurs, who have had some turnover problems against Phoenix, able to control it this time.
Yeah, but you got to love the aggressiveness of San Antonio. They came out playing like a #1 seed, which I think is important for their young players.
Scott Foster with a foul called on Phoenix. We talked about the season series going to Phoenix 3-1. The only victory by San Antonio was here, and they had to go to overtime to get it.
Well, again, Phoenix presents a lot of matchup problems for you. They can defend the basketball as well as anybody. The big thing here, the fact that San Antonio only shot 23% from three-point range. But remember, Phoenix led the league in defensive three-point field goal percentage.
Mary Stoudemire has returned to the lineup for Phoenix. Malik Rose, inside pass tipped away by Johnson. Rose a recovery, shoots the 8-footer. Tip tried Duncan and taken down by the Suns. Stephon Marbury at the controls. Phoenix went 44-38, but just 14-27 on the road during the regular season. But they did have a road win here. Joe Johnson on the miss. Ginobili the rebound. Ginobili, quick burst to the hoop and draws the foul. He'll be on the line to shoot 2.
I tell you what, although they're not necessarily scoring in transition like you would want, they are very aggressive and they're getting ample opportunities. That's got to be a concern for Frank Johnson as this game progresses.
Penny Hardaway called for the foul. That's his first. And Ginobili on the free throw line. And you know, Greg, with this San Antonio surge after the first of the year, when they won 41 of their last 50, a lot of that is because Ginobili, who had ankle problems throughout the early part of the season, finally got healthy.
I think that's the big key. I think without question, everybody else had been reasonably consistent. But he gives you that spark off the bench. He's a very tenacious defender, and his ability to penetrate and get to the basket, you can never discount that.
And his 2 free throws put the Spurs up by 7, 38 seconds left in the first.
Now we're seeing a little bit of that zone that San Antonio talked about implementing, and it's definitely confused, I think, Phoenix somewhat.
Marbury leads a 3 short. Rose the rebound, no shot clock. It's virtually synced up with the game clock. So San Antonio will play it out. Speedy Claxton in the game.
How about this last stretch defensively for San Antonio? Phoenix has had a hard time getting any good looks at the basket.
And Rose is constantly at the cup, although Marion turns him away this time. And a steal by Ginobili closes out this first quarter. And for good measure, he hit it off the glass, but it won't count. After trailing 14-10, the San Antonio Suns. Let's check in with Doris Burke on the, well, actually, there you see the guard comparison to this point. Marbury, with only 2 points, hasn't hit from the field, 0 for 5, and Parker 0 for 3.
Yeah, I tell you, I think it's more important than Parker. At least he's got 4 assists. I think his penetration's been good. Stephon Marbury, you got to expect, he's got to pick it up if Phoenix is going to have a chance.
Here's Marbury off the drive. Got turned away at the cup. Speedy Claxton storms to the hoop the other way. Blocked by Hardaway, recovered by Jackson. San Antonio sets up with 16 to shoot. Duncan draws the double team out to Jackson. Ginobili on to Claxton. Claxton hangs a 10-footer good.
I'll tell you again, they continue to attack in transition. They don't get it. They get the offensive rebound. Great ball movement. Speedy Claxton getting in the paint for the little deuce.
Right now, Greg, that's 10-0 San Antonio off the bench here in this first half.
They're playing well. Their bench has been the key thus far.
Stoudemire in the crowd, still able to score. Amari Stoudemire with 9 points here in his playoff debut. 9 of the 18 for Phoenix. 1 minute into the second quarter. Duncan draws the crowd, finds an open Claxton. There's Jackson for 3. Duncan the rebound. He'll shoot 2. Foul going to the hoop.
Again, not forcing the issue, finding his teammates, and that's why they've had such a good first quarter and a nice start to this second.
And Greg, from what I understand in talking with the Spurs, that was one of their problem areas during the regular season against Phoenix, was Duncan not reading the double teams right.
Well, it's difficult because Phoenix has such long athletic and mobile players. It makes it easier to make those scoring passes.
Doris, what's your view on that?
Well, Greg, you just talked about San Antonio's ability to move bodies. Frank Johnson in that last time out told his guys, you've got to keep a body on. Be consistent in moving your feet to make sure that those offensive rebounds don't happen for San Antonio.
Not only that, but also the putback. They're getting nice opportunities from Malik Rose underneath the baseline.
Joe Johnson with a steal. And nearly turned it over going the other way. He did. San Antonio has it.
I tell you, we're raving about how great San Antonio is playing, and it's true. But you know, you look up, they're only up 6. It's not as if they're up 15 here.
You see the coaches working the sideline here in this opening quarter of Game 1 in this best-of-7 playoff series. Frank Johnson and Greg Popovich. We played about 2 minutes in the second quarter, and that's Ginobili on the 3 attempt. Phoenix the rebound. Marbury guarded by Claxton. Marbury takes him, an inside pass knocked loose by Bowen. In the scrum, it's won by San Antonio. Duncan to Claxton. Malik Rose in a double team in the post. Back to Rose, slips through, hands to Duncan. What's the call? 3-second violation against San Antonio. NBA playoffs on Sunday, 12:30 season on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC.
I'll tell you what, you've seen a lot of turnovers this first quarter by Phoenix, but I was going to say this is a very important stretch of the game. Tim Duncan's not in, so he's not going to commit. You don't have the double team being commanded. Where's San Antonio going to find their offense?
And off the ball, coming back for San Antonio, a foul called on Amari Stoudemire. That's his second. He and Malik Rose got tangled up. 2 fouls on him. And we're going to get a change here in Game 1 of this series. And how important is a Game 1 in this series? Well, teams in a 7-game series that win Game 1 win the series 79% of the time.
So that tells me you better get this first game.
Ginobili finding Bowen. David Robinson against Voskuil, who's come on. Around the horn to Ginobili. He penetrates, hangs the shot up when either a jump ball or a foul called, and the foul is going to go against Jake Voskuil.
You know, this stretch here defensively for Phoenix, I'm not sure if I'm going to go double team David Robinson right away. Make him make a bucket and find out if he's still looking to score. Marbury to stay in the open mode. Eventually, shots are going to start to fall.
As Ginobili shoots his second free throw, let's check in with Doris Burke.
Well, Frank Johnson told his guys, look, San Antonio knows we're coming with the double. They're penetrating on every trip, so make sure the backline defenders are solid. But that's the difference with this San Antonio team. Ginobili, Jackson, their ability to get to the rim changes the equation.
Malik Rose almost out-battled Sean Marion for a tip on that missed free throw. Ginobili trying to defend here against Johnson. Got a piece of that one. And the loose ball ends up in the hands of Ginobili. A spectacular move into the lane. Leaves it outside for Rose.
I tell you, Ginobili has been the difference maker in this first half. He's doing it on the defensive end, providing great penetration.
And now a foul on Voskuhl. Came out to double-team Ginobili and got hit for body contact.
Just a little bit of inexperience. You know, Manu is not going to hurt you 40 feet from the basket. You know, you got to use that defense wisely. You don't need to waste fouls when there's no offensive plays being made.
2 fouls on Voskuhl. That's 14 fouls on Phoenix. San Antonio operating with a 7-point lead. We played almost 4 minutes here in the second quarter. Rose underneath, draws the foul, gets to the line to shoot 2. Don't forget to log on to the special NBA.com playoff section throughout the postseason for history, news, features, and series breakdowns. That's only on NBA.com.
You know, before the game, I asked Frank Johnson, and it sounds strange when you're the AC, but I said, are you guys overconfident? You know, you had so much success during the regular season. He says, I don't think we're overconfident, but we're definitely confident. But they came out to me very complacent and lax in this first half.
Malik Rose has put San Antonio up by 8. Their biggest lead has been 9. And so he equals it. Rose with 8 points off the bench for the Spurs. Stoudemire with 9 points. He had 7 of them very early for Phoenix. Penny Hardaway rubs Bowen off on a pick by Voskuhl, and Hardaway on the miss, but the rebound, a loose ball foul called on Phoenix. They're over the limit.
You can see too much emotion right now. Jake Voskuhl getting worked up. You know, you got to stay poised, understand time and score. It looked like Jake had decent position, but at the last minute gives a little shove. It might be an Oscar award-winning move there by Bruce Bowen.
But the problem for the Spurs is that it's Bruce Bowen shooting too, a 40% free throw shooter in the regular season.
You know, he shoots better
and led
from
the
3.
league in 3 points. How does this happen?
Go figure. I don't understand that one. Obviously, it's psychological. He's having a mental block. I don't know, he might have to work with Shaq a little bit, but Shaq's improved his.
He really has. Shaq with a career high this year, almost 63%. Bowen from 3-point range, 44.1. Goes 0 for 2 here. Joe Johnson claims the rebound. San Antonio by 9. 7:55 left in the half in a low-scoring game. Marbury still hasn't hit from the field yet. Turns it in from the top. Finds Joe Johnson. There's an open look for Hardaway. Missed off the 3. Claxton the long rebound. Speedy Claxton looked like that trip going through a crowd no call. Marbury back at the other end, and Marion with a jam over Robinson.
That's what you want to see from Phoenix. More transition opportunities. Takes the crowd out of the game, and it takes a little bit of the confidence away from San Antonio.
Sean Marion with 7 points. Steven Jackson has led the Spurs so far with 9. Malik Rose off the bench with 8. Ginobili finding Bowen. Tough shot for Bowen. It goes, and a foul.
I'll tell you what. Phoenix is going to have to settle down and start defending. But you see here, tremendous pass, touch pass by Penny to Sean Marion. And then you got Bruce Bowen. I tell you, he may not be able to make free throws, but he can sure use the left hand there. I think he got that from me.
Maybe he ought to shoot the free throw from the left side. And he rings it in, so he completes the 3-point play. His first points of the game, and the Spurs now have their biggest lead at 10. 7 minutes left in the half. Marbury to Outlaw. Marion. An air ball into the hands of Robinson. Claxton flares out to the perimeter. Rose draws the crowd. That leaves Bowen open for 3. And Robinson with a tip outside to Claxton.
I tell you, I don't like the fact that Phoenix is doubling on every possession because they have guys in the post San Antonio that have not proven that they can score on a consistent basis.
I'm with you. Ginobili gives to Claxton. Here's Robinson. They double on him immediately. Ginobili fadeaway with 8 to shoot. Around and out. Outlaw hands to Marbury. You're almost at a point, get to it in a minute, that's just what I was going to say, where they're going to have to get Marbury off.
Well, he controls that, though.
Right.
But Stephon being the point, the ball's in his hand. He'll get those opportunities. But more importantly, defensively.
And the Suns have Scott Williams back in the lineup, playing in the middle. Replacing Voskuil. Duncan over the top to Robinson on the classic high-low exchange of the San Antonio Spurs.
So you're San Antonio, you got to be real happy. Tim Duncan sat out for a nice stretch there. You actually increased the lead.
Back to a 10-point advantage for San Antonio. Hardaway. Johnson. Here's Marion with 7 to shoot. Scott Williams on the tip. Scott Williams trying to wrestle the rebound away from Robinson, and a foul called on Duncan and/or Robinson. It's on David Robinson. That's his third.
So that could be a big play down the line. Although Malik Rose has played well, you can't take away the importance of David Robinson's presence on the basketball floor.
David Robinson, who probably has the finest court demeanor you will ever find in the history of this league, had to be pushed away by Bruce Bowen.
Well, that probably tells you he probably didn't create or commit the foul the way they're saying, but that's pretty obvious. I definitely could agree with you making that call if you're an official.
Rose has come in to replace Robinson. Marbury with 5:17 left in the half. Marion. Here's Johnson. Scott Williams. Marion with 6. Draws the foul in the act of shooting, and he'll be on the line.
So Phoenix gets lucky there, but there's another perfect example, I think, where Phoenix is just not very comfortable offensively. You got a mismatch, Joe Johnson with Tony Parker, yet Scott Williams comes over to set a pick and roll. There's no need. Make them have to double you, and you're going to get some opportunities on the weak side and play out of that double team.
Tim Duncan picking up the foul, and that's 2 fouls on Duncan. Marion makes good on both free throws. 9 points for Sean Marion. 5 minutes left in the half. And Phoenix with only 26 points on the board. Parker around a Duncan pick. Shot clock at 10. Duncan turns, and his pass knocked loose. Scott Williams a pickup.
Good defense by Phoenix, but again, they're not looking to get a lot out of transition, which is somewhat surprising because they got so many skilled players on the perimeter.
Marbury a straight on 3, and the long rebound cut off by Bowen. Stephon Marbury still with 1 field goal and 4 points scored. And remember, during the regular season, he averaged 32.5 points a game against San Antonio. He was the reason why they had that 3-1 series win. Parker on the miss. Jackson trying to load the follow, knocked loose. Rose slips. Scott Williams a recovery. And a 20-second timeout taken by Phoenix.
Here's something I'm talking about. Again, double teaming on every possession, Spencer. If they could do some of this, you know, you throw the rhythm off just enough to where a guy's not sure if the pass is coming. You get the miss, you get opportunities to get rebounds, and you get out in transition. You got to mix your defenses up.
60 combined points on the board with 3:50 left in the half. Marion was fouled and will shoot 2.
Even though they got the foul, again, a very difficult shot to have to make. San Antonio's doing a great job defensively of not giving up any contested shots.
And with Steven Jackson picking up the foul, you see Bowen leaving the game. Manu Ginobili has come back in for San Antonio. Sean Marion on the line for Phoenix. And Marion has 8 points. Make that 9 points in the game as he actually he's in double figures now. Excuse me.
I tell you what, it's a nice luxury to have with Greg Popovich if you can bring a guy like Manu Ginobili into the game. Great defender, the ability to penetrate, plays with a tremendous amount of energy. You got to love that.
2 free throws down. Phoenix has cut it back to 6. San Antonio has been unable to run away and hide in this game. Phoenix operating in the zone. Manu Ginobili finding Parker. Rose draws the crowd again.
Perfect.
The double team. They force the turnover that time.
But again, why? Because they mix up the defense. They show them a little zone. San Antonio's unsure of how to attack it. Then you hit them with a quick double team. And those are the types of plays you got to make defensively to give yourself a chance.
Marbury. They get it inside to Stoudemire, and he was fouled before the shot. Stanley Cup playoffs resume tonight on E. Phoenix has it in play. Down by 6. Marbury blocked, but a foul called on Parker, and Marbury gets to the free throw line.
I tell you, not only is Stephon struggle, but you look up Penny Hardaway's 0 for 4. You know, so again, your guys, if you're Frank Johnson, offensively, I don't think you can play any worse. And defensively, you're making a lot of big mistakes. You got to figure eventually this team is going to start playing better. That's something they've done well all year. As the game has gone on, they've gotten better, they've gotten more physical, and they've gotten stronger.
And the other thing in the regular season, on 18 occasions, they came back from a double-digit deficit of 10 or more and won. And they were down by 10 in this half. Marbury splits the free throw. Stephon Marbury with 5. Phoenix putting some pressure up the court. Less than 3 minutes for the half. Now the Suns drop back in the zone. Parker, Ginobili, a swing to Jackson for 3. Boy, Steven Jackson in his first playoff game ever, he's been outstanding.
I tell you what, he stepped up in the battle of the small forwards, him and Sean Marion. He is definitely holding his own, if not outplaying Sean at this stage.
Back to an 8-point lead for San Antonio with 2.5 left in the half. Stoudemire. Marbury around an outlaw pick. And the ball goes out of bounds to San Antonio.
I tell you, Phoenix is just basically moving around the perimeter. They're not getting that attack that they need. Stephon got it the last possession, but they got to continue to put pressure on that San Antonio defense.
Manu Ginobili finding Jackson. There's Rose. How many times in this half has he been right in front of the hoop? And a foul called on Phoenix will put Malik Rose on the line shooting 2. Stoudemire has his 3rd foul. So Malik Rose already 2 of 2 from the line in this game, a 79% free throw shooter. Back to the line as Stoudemire goes back to the bench for Phoenix. Oh, Outlaw also going out. Phoenix Suns from 3-point range 1 for 5. And in the season against San Antonio, 48%.
You know, you got to look at the fact that, one, I think San Antonio is doing a much better job defensively. They're moving their feet better, and they're forcing Phoenix into more difficult contested shots. The key to making threes in this game, you got to get rhythm threes. 3-point shots are not something you're going to be able to shoot double pumping or with hands in your face. You got to get rhythm shots. And because their offense has been so stagnant, there's not been enough ball movement. That's why they don't get the open look.
9 points for Rose in the contest as he drops the 2nd free throw. Back to a 9-point Spurs lead. Just about 2 minutes for the half. Parker guarding Marbury. Marbury has not gone off against the Spurs as he did in the regular season. Hardaway with a turnaround. He remains scoreless. Loose ball rebound to Steven Jackson. Ginobili whips the pass. And now Rose off the drive. Got stopped at the hoop. Marbury around a Williams pick. Gets all the way inside and gets the floater to go. Stephon Marbury with his 2nd field goal.
And that's what he's going to have to do more of, getting into that paint, making the defense have to be the decision maker as to whether or not they're going to commit to help.
Tim Duncan has been very quiet for San Antonio as well. They've been sending the double team whenever he catches it. 8 to shoot. Duncan over Scott Williams, and Hardaway claims the rebound for Phoenix. Just about a minute left in the half. Joe Johnson in recovery, and then the pass knocked out of bounds by Rose.
You got Stephon doing what he does best, using the screen, showing a lot of patience. He doesn't force it, makes Tim Duncan commit, and then and that's a huge difference because Phoenix needs to get something out of their bench. And San Antonio, the guys have been doing it for them all season, continue to perform.
Hardaway juggled but was fouled on the drive on the way in. The Spurs are over the limit, so Hardaway gets to the line to shoot 2.
I tell you, if you're San Antonio, and I talked with PG and he said this earlier, you know, we're confident, but we're still concerned. And this is why. Phoenix is playing very poorly. You look up, though, and if he makes this next free throw, you got a 6-point ball game with less than a minute, and you haven't done anything well. Defensively, offensively, you've been out-rebounded. You have far more turnovers. You don't have many assists. It has to give you confidence going into the second half.
And he does make the second free throw. The first point scored by Penny Hardaway in the contest. A 6-point game. Tim Duncan on the bench right now for the Spurs. He's got 2 fouls. Coach Pop doesn't want him to pick up his 3rd before halftime. The veteran Kevin Willis in the lineup for San Antonio. Look at the feed by Ginobili to Rose. A slingshot pass by Manu Ginobili. Hardaway trying to answer. And another loose ball foul. This one also on Kevin Willis. His
might
second.
be a flagrant, JD. I'm not sure if it is, but he definitely gave the motion.
Scott Williams, who's down.
Great ball movement here. Again, Manu Ginobili, Johnny on the spot, making all the plays for this team. Malik Rose in the right place at the right time.
Where he's been this entire half.
I tell you, he's roamed on that baseline the entire first half.
Scott Williams injured on this play, this foul on Kevin Willis.
I tell you, this looks a little serious. I don't know if he caught an elbow in the jaw, but definitely saw Scott Foster, the official, motion as if it was a flagrant.
Okay. We have a chance to take a look at it here.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Willis definitely led with the elbow. That was pretty blatant there, JD.
Yeah. A flagrant foul called on Kevin Willis, who was in the game simply as a caddy, as it were, for Tim Duncan, just to play out the final 50 seconds or so.
I tell you, that could end up being a huge play. You get 2 free throws and the ball. You know, you complete both of these, you're down 4.
Kevin Willis has been thrown out. I don't know if he knows this yet.
I don't think he does. And I tell you, that's going to be huge. Remember, David Robinson has 3 fouls in this first half. Tim Duncan picked up 2. You know, and the way Phoenix plays, they're not going to stop attacking. That means that's going to be more fouls for San Antonio and thusly not as many bodies to combat those fouls.
When we had the replay, it looked as if Scott Williams was grabbing to the outside of the neck area along the right shoulder as he went down.
Yeah, that's never pretty. I mean, and that's a dangerous play. You got to remember, these are huge men running out at full speed, and basically Kevin had that elbow extended, and Scott Williams runs right into it.
From a different angle.
Yeah. See, there it doesn't look as bad, but the first time, if we could get that first replay, it looked as if he led with the elbow. I'm not saying he's trying to hit him in the face, but he definitely was trying to make sure there was contact.
Now, Scott Williams, as you saw in that replay, was holding his neck. We'll be back with San Antonio up 8. There you see Scott Williams being helped to the locker room after he took the elbow to the right side of his neck from Kevin Willis.
This angle, I think, gives you a much better vision. Oh, yeah, he definitely led with the elbow. You can see it there. You couldn't tell as much from the other angle, but I tell you, he looked like he just ran in one of those Lennox Lewis straight rights.
To give you, Kevin Willis was thrown out there. You see him going to the San Antonio locker room. Greg, you had a good point early. These guys are so big. In fact, Scott Williams' nickname when he first came to the Bulls was Tank. You know,
he's as big as a tank,
and
too.
he's played that way throughout his career. Now, Gugliotta has been chosen to shoot the free throws for Scott Williams. Gugliotta 9 for 9 during the regular season.
Oh, I tell you, how hard is that? Guy had played all year, basically. Only taken 9 free throws the entire season. comes into the playoffs and knocks the first one down.
Splits the free throws. It's a 7-point game. And Greg Popovich now, with Willis having been thrown out, has to bring Duncan back with his 2 fouls for the final 29.3.
Right.
With obvious instructions from Coach Pop, don't go foul anybody.
No, because Robinson's already saddled with 3.
Yep.
Big possession here for Phoenix. If they get a bucket here going into the half, their confidence is going to be pretty high. They have to feel good.
About 5 difference. Marbury off the drive. Stephon Marbury has just put his autograph on the game. 9 points for him. Phoenix down 10 early on, is back to within 5. The final seconds of the first half for San Antonio. Parker got some space. Rebounded by Gugliotta. And
Stephen, your first playoff experience, you looked very confident out there. Why were you so effective in the first half?
Well, I'm just out there confident because my teammates have a lot of confidence in me, and Pop told me to be aggressive, and that's the only way I know how to play.
You guys did a much better job with Stephon in this first playoff series than you were able to do in the regular season. What was the difference? Why were you so effective with him?
Well, I think we just let him do what he wanted to do. I think we're going to take him out of doing some of the things he liked doing, playing better defense. If we play better defense, this should be our game.
How does the absence of Kevin Willis affect this team in the second half?
It's big because Kev is our aggressive, but we got to play without him. We got to handle this job without him tonight, but he'll be back.
There was some question about the young guys, but they stepped up in the first half for San Antonio. Jim?
all right, 18-17 in the second quarter. Phoenix in possession as the third quarter gets underway. Parker attending to Marbury. Marion trying to shake loose with 12 to shoot. And the rebound tipped out of bounds by Outlaw. San Antonio has it.
In that possession right there, Phoenix can get a better shot than that, I believe. I mean, that's a tough shot. Marion has the ability to make it, but that's not the way you want to start the half.
Steven Jackson, who led the Spurs in scoring with 12, and now it's Bowen finding Duncan. He draws a posse. Jackson swings to Parker. Bowen left open for three. He's going to have to hit that shot because that's his game.
That is his game, and that's something this team has come to rely on, his three-pointer from that corner.
Marbury, a pitch out to Marion, and his three is right down the chute. So just like that, a missed three on one end and a hit at the other end, and it's a two-point ball game.
What else is going to be interesting? Bo Outlaw and Tim Duncan. Is he going to have the size to be able to get him off that block and give Phoenix's defense an opportunity to be effective?
And here's a foul called on Bo Outlaw guarding Tim Duncan in the post, and something we may have to look at, Greg, here in the second half after the flagrant foul on Willis. Will the officials really tighten up play off the ball?
I don't know how much they will, because these are two physical basketball teams. That's their nature, that's their identity and personality. You're going to have to allow some physical play.
Duncan again double teamed. Parker on to Bowen. He takes up slack this time. That's not his game.
And again, Phoenix making them shoot the shots they want them to shoot.
Robinson makes the steal of a pass intended for Stoudemire. San Antonio still nursing the two-point lead. To Duncan.
Great pass from Tony Parker. Showed great patience. Waited for Tim Duncan to come free. Perfect pass.
San Antonio up by 4. We played a little better than a minute and a half here in the third. Stoudemire guarded loosely by Robinson. 5 on the shot clock. Outlaw. Tough shot for Outlaw. The loose ball rebound to Bowen. Here's Jackson driving. Runs into a crowd. The ball tipped away by Duncan, but controlled by Marion. Phoenix can cut it back to 2 with a hoop this trip.
Let's see if they don't force the double team from San Antonio. I was expecting Vinny to backseat Tony Parker down there.
Shot clock at 8, and away from the ball, we get a whistle. Ed F. Rush with a technical foul on Bruce Bowen.
JD, you talked about it. They're going to keep their eyes on these guys out here now, and they're not going to allow anything excessive to happen.
The technical foul on Bowen puts Marion on the line, and he misses the free throw.
A little paranoia by the official there, I think. I don't think that was a technical was called.
Had not the Willis incident preceded that in the first half, that would not have been a technical.
No, not at all. But again, as you said, you made the point. The fact that that flagrant happened in the first half, the officials want to take control of this game.
Marbury stumbles off the dribble. Hardaway with a touch to Marion. Outlaw with a rebound tip, and it's controlled by Parker. Tony Parker has yet to get involved in this game. Duncan, Jackson, Parker, Robinson gets the shot away. David Robinson with his third field goal of the contest. San Antonio inches back out to a 6-point lead. Hardaway nails the three. Penny Hardaway with his first field goal of the contest.
Well, Penny's been around a long time. There was a time when he was arguably the best player in this league, so you know his confidence is going to be there in this second half. He's just got to stay patient and look for his opportunity.
8:40 left in the third. Jackson around the pick by Duncan. Oh, and again, shoots an air ball into the hands of Stoudemire. Up-court pass goes out of bounds, and it'll stay that way. Coming up later tonight on NBA TV.
You know, there's one point we didn't make. The other significance of that flagrant foul is that Phoenix has lost Scott Williams.
Right.
You know, he's their best post defender, and he's a guy who knows how to play and not pick up the silly fouls, which a younger, inexperienced Amari Stoudemire has a custom or a tendency to do.
That brings San Antonio, or that brings Phoenix, I should say, within one as Stephon Marbury hit that one, and he had a little emotion to show afterwards. Manu Ginobili with a pitch out pass deflected out of bounds by Phoenix. With 12 to shoot, the Spurs will come in. 8:11 remaining in the third.
You can kind of tell this game, Phoenix's confidence is starting to show a little bit. They're starting to do the things they did in the regular season to give San Antonio a
drive by Jackson, tip dunk by Robinson. David Robinson with 8, keeping the Spurs up by 3.
And that's caused because of penetration. You have to go help the penetrator. That leaves that weak side offensive board open.
Amari Stoudemire along the baseline, stepped on the baseline to go out of bounds. And Scott Williams is returning to the lineup for Phoenix, so that's a good sign.
That is a good sign, especially after they said he probably wouldn't return. That's got to be a huge boost for Phoenix.
Bo Outlaw goes out with Williams in. San Antonio the ball, leading by 3. Tony Parker defended by Marbury. Robinson driving on Stoudemire. But a foul called, and David Robinson shoots 2.
This is something I really like, and I thought coming into this series that David Robinson needed to be more aggressive offensively because, again, this is a guy who's accustomed to being a big scorer. He's got the ability to beat you off the dribble. Even at his age, he can still get in that paint. He knows how to finish. He knows how to draw contact and get to that free throw line.
Robinson making the free throw, the foul on Scott Williams, his first. 9 points for Robinson.
I tell you, it'll be interesting. I expect Stephon Marbury to eventually get going offensively, but will Tony Parker be able to answer the bell? You know, he still has not really offensively given him the type of contribution he did in the regular season.
I understand that. Marbury, who has 11 points in the game now, gives it up to Stoudemire. The shot clock at 10. Stoudemire to the hoop for the jam on David Robinson.
Now we see why Frank Johnson decided he's going to post Amari a little bit more. He is so aggressive and physical down on that block. You're going to have to double him.
The Suns back to within 3. 11 points for Stoudemire in the game. Steven Jackson. They send the posse at Duncan, but there's Robinson right in front of the cup. David Robinson with 12, 8 in this quarter.
Again, as great as Tim Duncan is, I don't know if you want to double him 18 feet away from the basket. Make him have to make a move and get there before you give up that opportunity.
Marbury sets up Marion. Ginobili with a rebound. Ginobili against Hardaway. Duncan back out to Ginobili. And it goes to Duncan. The jump hook in traffic. Tim Duncan has 9 points in the game, 4 in the third. Back to a 7-point lead for the Spurs.
Nice patience offensively by San Antonio.
Going to the big guys and letting them deliver for them. Marbury, great feed to Scott Williams off the dive, but he missed the layup. Tim Duncan is hurt. San Antonio taking a timeout.
That's a nasty spill there. Lost his legs.
Will Sevening, the trainer of the San Antonio Spurs, scored 2 here in the third. Almost halfway through the third, the Spurs have it with a 7-point lead. Ginobili goes into Duncan. Out to Jackson. He gets a look at a 3, and all he needs is a look. Steven Jackson with his third three-pointer of the game.
I tell you what, he stepped up and answered the bell in this game. He's given San Antonio a huge boost.
Greg, they've equaled their largest lead at 10, and less than 6 minutes for the third. Stoudemire on the drive against Duncan. Turned away by Robinson. Up court pass to Parker. Knocked out of bounds. And San Antonio keeps it. Postseason on ESPN, ESPN2, and ABC rolls on. And oh, by the way, if you're unable to get to your TV, ESPN Radio will have it for you from Minnesota tomorrow afternoon. Duncan the rebound. And Duncan was fouled. Today in San Antonio, Mark Jones and Jack Ramsey on the call. There's Dr. Jack for ESPN Radio. And tomorrow, Dr. Jack and I will be in Minneapolis at 3:07 Eastern, ladies and gentlemen, for the audio version.
There you go.
Lakers and T-Wolves.
Dr. Jack, one of the great minds of all of basketball.
He really is. Phoenix sitting back in the zone. Duncan draws the double team. A whip pass outside the Ginobili off the drive, and he's fouled attacking the hoop.
Again, you can see, and Greg Popovich talked about it, now when they're getting these double teams, they're not just settling for that three-point shot. You're seeing more penetration, great pass, he draws a double team, and they are able to get into that paint and be aggressive, get it to the free throw line.
Where Ginobili puts down the first free throw. All of his points have come at the foul line. Joe Johnson returning for Phoenix. And Scott Williams goes out, so this is that look that Phoenix presents to teams when they go small.
And it's given San Antonio problems during the regular season. But obviously, San Antonio, I think, playing with a lot more confidence, a lot more aggressiveness. It'll be interesting to see how effective this new lineup can be for Phoenix.
A 13-2 run by the Spurs have given them their largest lead of the game. Marbury guarded by Robinson.
San Antonio has slipped into that zone.
Yes, they have, with this smaller group out there for Phoenix. Here's Joe Johnson with a leap and leaner, and he's got it down.
I tell you, right there again, Penny Hardaway with the ability to create his own shot, and it makes that zone ineffective.
Only Joe Johnson has scored from the field off the bench for the Suns. Ginobili passed on a 3. Parker fouled, and he'll get to the line to shoot 2. And this has been the weapon of the Spurs here in this third quarter, Greg Anthony. Drive, draw the foul, get on the free throw line.
Again, and this is a great opportunity for Tony Parker to get a little confidence. Hadn't scored yet. If he can get up here and knock a couple free throws down, I think that's going to help him rhythm-wise if he does get some more opportunities to make shots.
David Robinson gets a hand as he heads for the bench. Parker short with the free throw. Malik Rose is in for him. David Robinson, when it looked kind of bleak for the Spurs early in the third, he delivered. He has scored 8 of his 12 points in this quarter.
You know, he stepped up big, and again, he has the ability to do that, and I think the Spurs are going to need more of that throughout the course of this series.
Parker finally scores on that second free throw. San Antonio by 11. 4:19 for the third. Inside pass to Stoudemire, so strong, unable to convert, but Marion bounces into a hook and gets it to drop.
I tell you, do you ever think that San Antonio could dominate the game the way they are with Tony Parker basically scoreless 1 point in this game?
I did not. Sean Marion has 16 so far. Duncan comes out to Jackson, another open 3. Duncan, the offensive rebound, knocked away, but to Ginobili.
Something else that's happening in this game. San Antonio was winning the battle of the loose balls.
Got a severe mismatch working here because then they ended up with Stoudemire playing out front on the zone. Now Jackson off the drive and gets the runner to drop.
frustration. Again, Steven Jackson's been the MVP thus far this game. He has really provided an offensive spark for San Antonio.
Keeping the Spurs out in front by 11. Marbury zigs and zags to the hoop. Ran into a dead end underneath. Stoudemire gets the shot up on Duncan. No good, but a foul on Duncan. And Coach Pop doesn't like that. Tim Duncan wanted to walk. Continuing to nurse that neck injury, and with more on the Admiral, here's Doris Burke.
Thanks, Jim. On March 23rd, David Stern announced that the NBA Community Assist Award would now be noted as the David Robinson plaque. David, $9 million of his own money in contribution to the Carver Academy. It is a school on the Lower East Side of San Antonio. It's based on a B average or better regardless of race, gender, religious preference. He has been an outstanding contributor to the community in San Antonio.
Here's Jackson off the drive for the Spurs. They swing it outside to Parker. There's the three. And still Tony Parker unable to connect from the field, but Manu Ginobili runs down a loose ball. He launches a three. Tipped by Marbury, and Phoenix controls it. Penny Hardaway back to Marbury. 2:48 left in the third. Marbury to the hoop. How did he get through?
I tell you, that's just an amazing ability to be able to finish in traffic. You know, the point they made about David Robinson, you know, one of the true ambassadors of the game, and I think he deserves as much credit as possible. He really represented the game of the NBA quite well.
Malik Rose working in the post, a pitch out to Ginobili. Jackson off the drive, and in doing so, he's called for an offensive foul. Steven Jackson has his second personal.
You know, we talked about Stephon Marbury and that explosive ability to not only get to the rim, but his ability to finish in traffic. I mean, he splits the three defenders. You know, not many guys in this league have the ability to go and finish in that manner.
Yeah, plus he finished on a 7-footer. Tim Duncan. 2:15 for the third. It's a big trip for Phoenix. A hoop gets it back to 5, which was the deficit at halftime. Marbury had it knocked away by Ginobili. And the loose ball unclaimed. Phoenix has it, one to shoot. Joe Johnson was out of bounds before the shot. San Antonio the ball with 2:01 left in the third. What's the call? It was out of bounds to Phoenix with 1 on the shot clock, apparently.
I wonder if they're going to have to reset that clock.
No. They didn't change possession.
No, not reset it. Well,
they're claiming it changed possession. And so Phoenix gets a fresh 24.
But even on that play, Manu Ginobili, he just has a nose to the ball. You notice he's the guy leading the charge for all the loose balls for San Antonio. And those possessions add up. You know, they give your team confidence.
So 23 to shoot for the Suns as they come in. Marbury guarded by Claxton. Marbury on a quick burst to the hoop. Missed the shot. Rebound tipped off by Stoudemire. And Steven Jackson on the advance. We're here at the SBC Center in San Antonio. Game 1 in this best-of-7 Western Series between top-seeded San Antonio and the 8th-seeded Phoenix Suns. The Spurs on top, but it's been a struggle.
Both teams defensively doing basically what they want.
That's Claxton on the drive, but he's called stepping out of bounds along the baseline. The Spurs turn it over. And again, Phoenix with a chance to cut it back to 5. San Antonio has led by as many as 12 in this quarter. 1:15 left in it. Joe Johnson in a crowd, and as he got into the lane, a reach-in foul call. Steven Jackson called for the personal foul, his third.
I tell you, you got to love the aggressiveness defensively of Steven Jackson, though. And the ref kind of bailed him out a little bit. They didn't give him 2 free throws there. It looked to me as if he was in the act of shooting.
That's the first in the last 2 minutes. 14 fouls on the Spurs. Hardaway to bring it in. Comes into Stoudemire. Stoudemire against Duncan. Nice move by Amari Stoudemire. How about this kid?
I tell you, he could have gotten a foul there, too.
Yeah.
Tremendous move. This guy has a lot of ability. He's only going to get better.
60-55. 7 in a row for Phoenix. Steven Jackson off the drive, runs into a crowd, and was fouled at the hoop. 2 shots coming for Jackson.
tell you, one thing you see again, and we keep reiterating this point, but San Antonio continues to attack the glass and not just settling for that three-pointer.
Guys, it's amazing when you think about the position Amari Stoudemire's playing as a rookie in the Western Conference, the likes of Nowitzki and Malone and Elton Brand, and yet he held his own, averaging 20 and nearly 10 boards per game. Nothing short of amazing for a young guy.
And that's something. I mean, when you think about the power forwards you've got to go against in the Western Conference.
Well, the power forward position in the Western Conference is the glamour position.
Yeah.
If you think about it, you didn't mention Duncan and Weber and Rasheed Wallace. I mean, that is the position in the Western Conference in terms of the superstars. Kevin Garnett.
They've got 40 seconds left in the third. The Spurs up by 7 after the 2 free throws by Jackson. Jake Voskuhl in traffic somehow got it down.
How did he get that in? Again, that's set up again by the penetration by Marbury. He's very good in the pick and roll, something San Antonio's struggling with.
He's the first Phoenix player off the bench to score other than Joe Johnson from the field. Rose, diving Claxton, fouled by Voskuhl. Speedy Claxton shoots 2. 4 fouls on Voskuhl.
I tell you, Greg Popovich has got to love what he's seeing from his team. Again, the fact that they're getting to the free throw line, they're penetrating. They don't shoot the ball from the perimeter as well as some teams, and so they're not relying on it, which is one of their Achilles heel in the series against this team in the regular season.
Claxton making the first of 2. That's 3 points for Claxton in the contest. Bruce Bowen coming back for the Spurs. Tim Duncan going out with 21.6 left in the third. They'll get this little bit of a rest here, plus the timeout between quarters. And Pop may come back with him to start the fourth quarter. So with him out of the game, Casey Jacobson is going to come on, the rookie from Stanford for Phoenix, replacing Voskuhl.
Great shooter. You know, you got to figure Stefan's going to have the opportunity to ISO maybe in a 1-4 set. If they come with the help, you got your 3-point shooter, Casey Jacobson. Joe Johnson can shoot it, Penny Hardaway, and Sean Marion for that matter. So you got all 3-point shooters, which is going to give, I think, Stefan an opportunity to get to the cup.
Claxton missing on the second. Marion claims the rebound. No shot clock. 17 seconds left in the third. But Phoenix is right there. They were down 12. They've closed to within 6. And they can have the final say in the quarter. Marbury with a pitch out to Hardaway for 3. Bucket. Penny Hardaway with a big 3 to bring Phoenix within 3. 4.3 left in the quarter. Ginobili trying to shake loose. Launching a 3, too strong.
Steven Jackson, by far the most vocal of the Spurs in that huddle. He told his guys, let's tighten up the defense and make a push. Greg Popovich told his bigs, make sure you hedge on every pick and roll. Let's misdirect the Phoenix guards.
You know, Phoenix has a reputation of being a good from-behind team, Greg.
They do. I mean, 15 wins this season when trailing after 3 quarters.
And here they run out to Marion. He was fouled by Ginobili. And Sean Marion to the free throw line to shoot 2 with 11:34 remaining.
I tell you, one reason again that they're able to make games like this in terms of wins, when trailing, is that they got a great point guard playing at a very high level who has a lot of poise and patience out there. Even though he struggled from the field, he still knows he has the ability to be the difference maker. And I think also his teammates believe that. That's why you're starting to see a lot more poise from Phoenix in this second half.
And the other thing that makes San Antonio vulnerable to a comeback, well, 2 things. 1, they have a turnover history, especially against Phoenix, and 2, they don't shoot free throws well.
No, and that is, I tell you, that is not a very good formula for success in the playoffs. Something I'm sure Greg Popovich has to be concerned about.
Sean Marion has 18. The Suns have cut it to 1. Rose guarded by Johnson. Duncan surrounded again by purple jerseys. Duncan with a force-up shot, but he drew the foul on Voskuhl and will shoot 2. But again, Duncan not a great free throw shooter, 71% this year.
Well, he's definitely improved this year, but he's had Shaquille O'Neal-like stretches. But again, the important thing here, the double team is effective because the hands are moving, but you can't allow him to split him right there. And again, Jake Voskuhl picks up the foul.
Which is his 5th. And Duncan knocks down the free throw. Duncan with 10 points scored.
Which becomes even more important if Scott Williams is not able to come back and play.
Then they've got to go to Jake Sakalitis, I would guess.
Yeah, obviously a big body, but has not played a lot this season.
There's that missed free throw, leaving the door open. And the shot off there. Voskuhl off the tip, and the Suns have pulled even at 64.
Again, Phoenix starting to show that poise and that confidence that we don't always expect from a young team, but they've done it time and time again in the regular season.
They have not led since midway in the first quarter. Ginobili for three, puts San Antonio up by 3. Manu Ginobili's first field goal today.
Yeah, that's a huge shot because that team has not necessarily shot it well from 3. Other than Ginobili and Steven Jackson, I don't think anyone else has hit one.
Missed shot by Marbury, but look at the elevation he gets on his jump shot. My word. Speedy Claxton finding Ginobili. Another 3 in the air. He bags his second in succession. And Phoenix wants time. 19,217 roar their approval at the SBC Center. As we return to action here with 10:24 left. Manu Ginobili, the Argentinian star, has shot San Antonio into the lead, and with more on him, here's Doris Burke.
Well, Greg Popovich told us before the game that Ginobili's experience in the EuroLeagues helped prepare him for this kind of atmosphere. It's a rough crowd. They'll throw various objects, phones, coins, whatever they have in their hands. Greg, I don't know if that's accurate, but he's hit a couple big shots.
How about that athletic move by Shawn Marion?
I tell you, they needed that off a putback. But obviously, Ginobili is fearless. He's aggressive out there, and I think that really gives confidence to those other guys out on the floor.
Plus, it seems like, Greg, as Claxton steps on the sideline trying to make a drive. Well, live NBA playoff action in high definition on NBA TV Monday night as Antoine Walker, Paul Pierce, and the Celtics try to go up 2-0 on Reggie Miller and the Pacers. Pacers and Celtics game 2 in high def Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern on NBA TV. We got a lot of work to finish up on here in San Antonio tonight. The drive by Marbury missed, the tip by Duncan outside, and San Antonio off to the races. Jackson to Claxton. And he got bumped out of bounds, and a foul called on Joe Johnson.
And Frank Johnson made the point at halftime. They got to get Amari Stoudemire more involved. He's only taken 7 shots. And I think that's another key. That's an area where they've been affected. Tim Duncan doesn't want to get in foul trouble. They're going to have to rely, I think, on double teams to stop this guy, and I think that's something Phoenix needs to get back to, getting him more involved offensively.
Claxton with an open look out front. Joe Johnson, the rebound for the Suns. And a hoop makes it a 2-point game with 9:17 left. Tony Parker at the scorer's table for the Spurs. Missed steal by Claxton. Marbury off penetration. Sets up Bo Outlaw for an awkward-looking turnaround, and Malik Rose claims the rebound.
Yeah, that's a perfect example there of not getting it to the right guy at the right time.
Rose missed the layup, but drew the foul. So Malik Rose gets to the free throw line. Marion called for the foul. That's his second.
Again, Tim Duncan making the right pass at the right time. Malik Rose knowing the double team's coming. He doesn't wait out on the perimeter. He cuts where he can be more effective, and he's at the line for 2.
Foul on Marion is his third as Rose hits the free throw. Duncan coming out of the game. David Robinson replacing him.
Again, a critical stretch for San Antonio. I'd like to see, if I'm San Antonio, David Robinson be more aggressive offensively. He was really effective in that third quarter. I think he needs to be again in this fourth.
Malik Rose back to the line with 8:54 left. 2 free throws are down, and it's back to a 6-point lead for San Antonio. So Phoenix rallied to tie, but the Spurs have gone back up by 6. Marbury drives on Parker, gets into the lane all the way to the hoop.
And that happens because they put David Robinson in a pick and roll. The only shot blocker they have. He's on the perimeter. Marbury blows by, uncontested layup.
Stephon Marbury keeping the Suns in the hunt. Robinson double teamed out to Jackson. Rose draws the double team. 6 on the shot clock. Parker with a touch to Jackson. Had it knocked away from him in the lane. Marbury down on the floor to keep it alive for Phoenix. Marbury 8-minute mark for the fourth quarter. Nearly turned it over. Marion on to Hardaway. Penny Hardaway in the lane. Hands to Stoudemire. He wasn't ready. Jackson a steal to a streaking Parker. And Tony Parker has his first basket of the game.
I tell you, that's a big play because Penny Hardaway definitely had Stoudemire. Stoudemire wasn't expecting the pass. It leads to an easy transition opportunity for Tony Parker.
7:35 remaining. Hardaway has lost the dribble. Marbury has it now. Marbury against Parker. Double team. Nearly lost it. Joe Johnson with 2 to shoot. Tough shot for him, but he hits it. Man, I don't know how he got that shot.
I tell you, right over the outstretched arms of David Robinson. And that's a big bucket for Phoenix right now.
Number 1 seed in the West, the San Antonio Spurs, unable to shake the Phoenix Suns in game 1. Ginobili missing the 3. Joe Johnson the rebound.
Popovich talked about at the beginning of the game. They wanted to stay away from the threes, but they've already hoisted up over 20 in this game.
That's unbelievable. Stoudemire working on Robinson. Tough shot for the Rook, not there, but it's tipped in by Marion. Sean Marion brings Phoenix to within 2.
There's that athleticism we talked about, their ability to hit the offensive glass. They play above the rim, which is something San Antonio is obviously struggling with in this game and has all series.
22 points for Marion in the contest, a new career playoff high. Parker. Parker trying to shake Johnson, had the shot blocked by Marion. Loose ball recovery, a shot clock violation. It goes to Phoenix.
And again, even though Amari Stoudemire doesn't score here, he brings a lot of bodies to him, which allows Sean Marion to get inside and get that offensive putback, which is what they need more of. Again, playing above the rim.
Phoenix again with a chance to tie. Marbury takes it in on Robinson. Parker knocked it loose, but a reach-in foul was called. And you see Tim Duncan getting ready to come back for the Spurs.
Also not having Duncan in that game, it really opens up the middle offensively for Phoenix. You saw Marbury got a lot more penetration when Duncan was not in the game.
It was Rose who was called for the foul. You saw he went out with Duncan on. Halfway home in the fourth, 74-72. San Antonio nursing a 2-point lead. Marbury finding Hardaway. 3 to shoot. Hardaway against pressure. A tough shot in the lane. Won't go. And a shot clock violation is the call. In a couple of minutes, actually.
Well, we're getting everything we thought we'd get in this opening game.
Doris, you've got a report on the Spurs.
Well, Greg Popovich singled out the rookie. As Robinson gets a bucket, he singled out the second-year point guard, Tony Parker. He said, hey, get your head up. We need you to play solid this last couple minutes. He also said if the double comes on the inside, guys, if Parker gets the ball back, he wants to attack on a dribble drive.
Which he hasn't done much of in this game, although his assist numbers are up. Marion not there. Marion nearly corralled the offensive rebound, and he does dig it away from Ginobili.
Sean Marion's so quick off his feet. It's as if he knew he was going to miss the shot.
Marbury, nope. Yep, Stoudemire on the tip follow.
And we made the point earlier, again, they play above the rim. They continue to crash that offensive backboard, and that's because of the penetration. That's what Marbury does even when he doesn't make the shot.
17 points for the rookie Stoudemire. Duncan doubled up to Robinson off the dive, and that's 2 hoops in a row for David Robinson. 16 points in the game.
So you got to guard that interior when you're double teaming and make them throw it over the top. Give your defense a chance to recover.
David Robinson is a perfect 7 for 7 from the field. Marbury goes cross court. Hardaway hops into the outside jumper. It's a long 2 for Penny Hardaway.
I tell you, Penny Hardaway's, I think, 4 for 4 the second half. He's giving him a nice little boost offensively.
4:25 remaining. Phoenix staying close. Robinson again up the middle, contact, and an offensive foul on David Robinson. Stephon Marbury took the hit. That's
Big
4
gutsy,
fouls on Robinson.
Big gutsy play stepping in. But even though Marbury got there, they're going to have to figure out a way to stop that cut because this is a questionable call. It could have gone any way, either way.
4 fouls on Robinson. Marbury splits through the defense, finds Marion, The rebound tipped off to Robinson by Ginobili.
Again, those hustle points, the loose balls, keeping the ball alive for your teammates. Manu Ginobili's been doing it all game.
Ginobili goes into Robinson, out to Parker. Now he takes up slack, hits the shot from out front, no good. A late whistle on the call on Marbury. Gets Tony Parker to the free throw line for the Spurs to shoot two.
I tell you, that's a huge break for San Antonio. Marbury bailed him out because the shot had already been released. He'd already missed it. That call was made after the shot.
Tony Parker, Greg, I mean, he's got a mental issue to deal with here with Stephon Marbury. It's more than just physical execution that's limiting his play.
You know, and Greg Popovich made that point in the pregame meeting. He said, you know, you can see it. You can see it in his eyes and Marbury's eyes. Marbury's got his number. And I think he knows it, and Stephon Marbury knows he knows it.
With Greg Anthony and Doris Burke, I'm Jim Durham at a sold-out SBC Center in San Antonio. The Spurs trying to hang on to game one, but it's a one-point game now.
Again.
Man, what a move
What
by
a pass,
Stoudemire.
dude. What a pass by Marbury to hit him right in stride, allows him to finish.
19 points for Stoudemire in his playoff debut. 3:28 left. Duncan surrounded. Parker for three. Ginobili trying to keep it alive. It's out of bounds to Phoenix. The Suns have a crack at the lead.
I tell you, Tony Parker has no confidence right now. They're going to have to figure out a way to get him going if they're going to have a chance in this series.
Marbury against Parker. Off to Stoudemire. Lost control going up. Marion tips to keep it alive, but Parker claims the loose ball. 3 minutes remaining. Steven Jackson for the three. And Hardaway grabs the rebound. Again, Phoenix looking for the lead. Remember, they haven't led since midway through the first. And we've got 2:47 left in regulation. Marbury gets into the paint. Kicks out to Hardaway. And on the rebound, a loose ball foul on San Antonio, as Stoudemire got bumped off the play.
That's where they've been effective. Phoenix has stayed more to their game plan than San Antonio has.
And Phoenix is looking for the lead. This possession, 9 to shoot. Marbury against Parker. Marbury still in the dribble. Runs into Robinson. An offensive foul on Marbury. And remember this, David Robinson is playing with 5 fouls.
I tell you, that's a huge play. The veteran steps up, takes the charge. Great defense here.
Bad back and all.
Yeah, that's a huge play. I tell you, that's a big confidence booster for your team when you see your leader out making those kind of effort plays.
Robinson out high. Steven Jackson with 14 to shoot. Duncan draws the crowd. Parker with 9 on the shot clock. Tony Parker around a Duncan pick. Gets a 20-footer up there. And it's rebounded by Phoenix. Again, the Suns looking for the lead. What have you got for us, Doris?
Well, part of the invitation to shoot those threes by San Antonio is this zone by Phoenix. Frank Johnson talked to his guys about San Antonio wanting to overload that zone. And look out, Stephon Marbury starting to heat up, guys.
And that basket has given Phoenix the lead, their first lead since midway through the first quarter. Marbury has 17 points in the game. He only scored 2 in the first quarter.
I tell you, part of those threes being hoisted is inexperience, though. Veteran players are going to understand, hey, we got to get this ball in the paint. That's where they've been having some success.
With 12 on the shot clock, Duncan back out to Jackson. 8 to shoot. Parker goes to Robinson. 5 to shoot. Duncan in deep. Nothing doing. He got knocked in. It'll score a goal for Tim Duncan.
I tell you, that's a fortunate break there that they didn't get called for offensive goaltending.
81-80 Spurs with 1:30 left. Over 19,000 on their feet at the SBC Center. Stoudemire against Robinson. Stoudemire strong to the hoop, shot it over the rim and the backboard. It's out of bounds to San Antonio.
Let's take a look at this play. Tim Duncan getting great position down low. Looks like he's got an easy 2. Ball comes out. Oh, that's pretty questionable, but he got the benefit of the doubt there.
Here's the big trip for the San Antonio Spurs. A hoop and a stop will almost miss it. Duncan strong to the hoop. Got turned away by Amari Stoudemire. And now Stephon Marbury has the control.
Frank Johnson wants a timeout, but I don't think Stephon Marbury realizes it.
Marion with a three on the way. Rebounded by Steven Jackson. A loose ball foul on Joe Johnson, his fourth.
I tell you, that's a huge play. Miscommunication. They don't get the timeout when Frank Johnson wants it. Check out the explosive athletic ability of Amari Stoudemire to deny Tim Duncan the finish.
Wow. He met him at the summit, didn't he?
Met him right there. Turns him away, but again, Frank Johnson was yelling and screaming. He wanted Stephon Marbury to take it over half court and get a timeout. Stephon had turned away, didn't see it. They obviously got a good look, but that's not necessarily what they wanted at that moment down the stretch.
Steven Jackson hits a clutch free throw. That's 20 points for him in the game. He's made all three of his free throws in this one. Make it 4 for 4 for Steven Jackson and take a foul.
Yeah.
They have it in play to Marbury. Marbury on the move, and there's the foul that they had to give, but it's going to put him on the line. They're saying he was on his way to the basket.
And again, you saw it right there. They didn't get away from what they do best, which is, I think, a very key component to success in the playoffs.
A foul on Duncan, I believe, and that's his third as Marbury gets to the line. 80% on the season, and he nails the first one. He's 4 for 5 in this game, so he's 80% today.
I tell you what's going to be interesting is you know Phoenix is going to double Duncan when he gets it on this block. Will they be able to stop that interior cut that Malik Rose, David Robinson had a lot of success with and make them throw it over the top?
And you see Marbury, since the first quarter, he's been very active. You also saw a change made by Frank Johnson. Offense, defense, Bo Outlaw now in the game to defend. And Penny Hardaway is out. Marbury makes it a one-point contest. 45 seconds left. Parker guarded by Outlaw.
Now, Bo Outlaw is going to be the double-team guy. Marbury's got to contain Robinson.
Duncan
big
is
play.
tied up. And that was part of that double team which you talked about. Here, as you take a look at the replay.
See, this time, again, the defense, you see that they freeze him. They don't allow him to split him. And when you do that, you don't give him any angle to pass the basketball. They do a good job of guarding that interior. Big play for the Phoenix Suns.
And a 20-second timeout taken by Greg Popovich. And Duncan. Big height advantage to the Spurs. The tip to Robinson. The shot clock at 11. Parker at the point. Takes the outside shot. What a big hit for Tony Parker.
I tell you, he steps up big. And you know what? No matter what the outcome of this game, that's going to give Tony Parker a big boost for the rest of this series. Greg Popovich, he knows Duncan's not going to get an opportunity to play out of that double team. You got a mismatch, Bo Outlaw on Tony Parker.
Here we go, sideline out of bounds for Phoenix, and Marbury has it. As you see the three-point shooting in the game. Marbury going for two, got snuffed, but a foul called. Puts him on the line to shoot two.
I tell you, I like that play. Again, remember, San Antonio's not a great free throw shooting team. So obviously you're going to foul here. Marbury knocks both these down. You might have a situation where you don't need a three, and maybe they make only 1 or 2 on their next possession.
Stephon Marbury, 5 of 7 in the game. 19 points, make it 20.
I tell you, this has been an exciting game. It's been a physical, defensive-oriented game, which is what I prefer personally. But, you've seen the athleticism of Phoenix. You see why there's been so much concern in San Antonio about what they're able to do to them defensively, and then obviously with Marbury.
Stephon Marbury trying to bring the Suns to within 1, and 17.6 left.
Tell you what, I don't like Stoudemire not fronting here
against Tim Duncan.
Yeah, you don't want to be able to throw it right into the paint because that's a recipe for disaster.
Outlaw defending Ginobili on the inbounds. It comes into Jackson, and he's fouled by Bo Outlaw with 16.1 left. Steven Jackson, who hasn't missed a free throw in the game, 4 for 4 on the line.
Steven Jackson and Popovich mentioned it before the game. This guy loves it. He has no fear. He's stepped up. He's met the challenge. Now can he make the free throw?
Steven Jackson has been a clutch performer for the Spurs all during the season. And he knocks in the first free throw. In a game here in January against Boston, he hit a three out of the corner with about a second remaining that proved to be the game winner for the Spurs by 1. Then in March, he hit a three at the buzzer to send the game into overtime here against Minnesota. And now today, he's on the line shooting some clutch free throws, and he hits them both. No timeout for Phoenix.
It'll be interesting if they go for the quick two or they go ahead and try to get that three-pointer.
Stoudemire tries the three. Banked it in. Amari Stoudemire hits a three to tie the game. And the Spurs take time with 7.9 left.
Just like Frank Johnson drew it up, I'm sure. Have Stoudemire bank a three from the top of the key.
Welcome to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. Amari Stoudemire was 2 for 10 from three-point range in the regular season.
Well, now he's messed it in. I don't know if he called it.
They get the ball. He comes into Jackson. Outlaw is on him. They've got some time. Duncan with 3 seconds. Under pressure, the fadeaway short, and the rebound. Time has expired. Overtime in San Antonio. Phoenix 2 and 3. That loss by San Antonio was here at home to Minnesota in late March. Phoenix controlling the tip. Marbury with 21 points in regulation. Guarded by Parker. Around the pick by Robinson. A scoop blocked underneath. Almost went through the basket from the bottom up. And a jump ball is called. Stoudemire and Duncan.
I tell you, Marbury really nowhere to go there. David Robinson again continuing to have a big game for San Antonio with a huge block. Great defense there.
Antonio Spurs tops in blocks as a team during the regular season, but Phoenix controls this tip and has a chance to draw first blood in the overtime. Marbury driving against Parker, and he hits the floater, and that's the game you've been talking about all day, Greg.
His ability to score in what we call the no man's land, not at the rim and not out on the perimeter. He does it as well as anybody playing in this game.
Phoenix with a 2-point lead. Off the cut, Robinson on the feed from Duncan, and a foul call.
I tell you, they've had a tremendous amount of success with that very play, having either Malik Rose and in this case David Robinson cut down the middle on that double team. Phoenix's weak side is not there to cut that off and contain it. They've had a lot of success.
That foul called on Stoudemire is his 4th.
Stoudemire's got to meet him outside the dots before he has an opportunity to get in that area where you really can't defend it.
Robinson with 16 points in regulation. Had made his first 2 free throws attempted in the game and now misses there.
You know, when you look at this Phoenix team,
Jackson maybe saves the day for San Antonio. Duncan with a layup.
I was just about to make the point. You look at this Phoenix team out there on the floor. This might be one of the youngest lineups with the exception of Penny Hardaway in the league.
Marbury with the long inside jumper, and the rebound tipped away. Marion almost had it. Robinson saves to Duncan. San Antonio looking to regain the lead. Parker leaves it with Jackson. Inside to Duncan. Spurs by 2.
Great patience and poise there by San Antonio. They recognize the mismatch. Tim Duncan on Sean Marion. Easy 2.
Hardaway at the controls for the Spurs. Finds Joe Johnson. Outside Marbury, his 3-ball. Rebounds long where Marion tries to save. It's out of bounds to the Spurs.
Take a look at this play here. Again, recognize it. You can't double down there because you can't get to it. Tim Duncan recognizes that, gets it off quick for the easy 2.
And they're going to try to run the same. Work at that side of the floor. Steven Jackson at the 3-minute mark for the overtime, pressured by Joe Johnson. Duncan doubled up. Ginobili zigs and zags, finds Parker. The 3-ball by Parker. Marion clears.
Good offense, though. Even though they don't make the shot, they get what they want. Good penetration, good ball movement.
Marbury down the lane. The floater won't go. And on the rebound, a foul called. Knocked out of bounds by Phoenix. The Spurs have it.
Stephon Marbury's got to calm down a little bit, get back to playing solid basketball. Still just a 2-point game with a lot of time.
Dallas trying to close out Edmonton, has a 2-0 lead in the first period. We'll join when we're done here, or you can watch it on ESPN2. Ginobili on the miss, Duncan the rebound, and a reach-in foul called on Hardaway.
Bounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and he's kept the ball alive several times, which has given his team opportunities to score.
The Spurs in possession. Parker guarded by Joe Johnson. Duncan draws the double team out on the court, then finds Jackson. Here's Ginobili. Back out to Parker. 9 on the shot clock. Parker to the base. Hands it off to Robinson. Knocked loose. It's out of bounds. It goes to Phoenix.
I tell you, Phoenix does a great job of making you play in the crowd. You notice that they never got an open look, and that's something that size and athleticism allows you to do.
And the Suns with a chance to tie this possession or get the lead with a long one. Marbury works around the pick by Stoudemire. Penny Hardaway with 10 to shoot. Now it's Stoudemire against Robinson. Stoudemire into the lane. Over Robinson. Stoudemire delivers and ties the game.
We talked about it earlier. They started realizing, hey, we got to get Amari Stoudemire going offensively. Since they've done that, they've been much more effective.
Robinson off the dive, and the pass is stolen by Marbury. The Suns bring it back, looking for the lead with 1:32 left. Penny Hardaway with a 3-ball. David Robinson picks off the rebound.
I tell you what, this has just been one really good basketball game.
Can you imagine 6 more just like it?
I do imagine. I think it's going to possibly go 7.
Ginobili plays it left to Parker. Now Ginobili up the middle. Underneath for Robinson for the 2-hand dunk.
There he is again, Manu Ginobili making plays. His penetration, that's what San Antonio has to get. More penetration, allow David Robinson, Tim Duncan to be more effective.
Doris Burke, what's Phoenix looking to do?
Well, the pick and roll. If he goes strong side, look for a jumper from Marion. Otherwise, a wrap around to a Stoudemire.
He goes all the way and tries the teardrop floater. Duncan the rebound. Less than a minute for the overtime.
Big defensive possession right now for Phoenix. Obviously, for San Antonio offensively, a score here really gives them a little bit of breathing room.
Duncan in the post, single coverage that time. Jackson for 3. And the rebound battle won by Marbury as he saved the loose ball and then gets it to Stoudemire. 30 seconds left. They want to get a 2-for-1 if they can, and an offensive foul on Hardaway has taken that away.
Big play. Tony Parker stepping up. That's a huge play if you're the San Antonio Spurs and the Phoenix Suns for that matter. Again, he's trying to beat him. Parker gets in there. That's a tough call to make at the end of the game, but hey, the official made it.
Actually, Phoenix will get it again on shot clock possession. There's 2.6 difference. Duncan works out toward the corner, and in doing so, a foul called on Hardaway. Penny Hardaway is fouled out. That's what overtime will do. It'll start to deplete your roster. To throw in. He comes into Duncan, and they take the foul quickly to put Duncan on the line with 15 to shoot and 16.8 left.
Good play by Phoenix. You know, you got to give yourself a chance. There's not that much time between the shot clock and what was on the 24-second clock, I should say, and the game clock.
Duncan 2 of 4 today. 2 of 5. And the door is still open.
I don't know. It could be another overtime here, JB. I don't know.
Duncan, a 71% shooter during the regular season, does make the second one. 16.8 left in the overtime. Marion triggers to Marbury. Back to Marion. And a foul by Jackson. They had one to give.
Very smart foul there. They ate up about 5 seconds. Now you're almost putting yourself, your Phoenix, in a position where you might have to take the three now.
We'll see how they play it. Joe Johnson to make the inbounds pass. Hands it in play to Marion. Marion in the lane, hangs the shot up good. It's a one-point game with 7.2 left. The Spurs get it in play to Parker, and he's fouled immediately with 6.6 remaining. Tony Parker gets to the free throw line.
And again, we've talked about it, the fact San Antonio struggles from the line. Tony Parker, obviously a difficult night tonight offensively, but again has a chance to be the hero.
He's 2 for 4 in the game, and he's 76% during the regular season.
For the game, San Antonio shooting at a 68% clip.
And during the regular season, they were at 73, but Parker hits a big one here. 95-93. 6.6 left. Even if he scores, it's just a 3-point difference. Parker again. Rimming, no. Rebound, Duncan. Duncan trying to clear it out, and a foul call with 5.1 left. Duncan to the line. It's still not over because it's not a sure thing with Duncan there.
But again, you know, we talked about this a little bit. Offensive rebounding. Great ability to move his feet. He beats Stoudemire to the spot. Huge play for Tim Duncan.
The fans chanting MVP, and Duncan short arms the first one. Even if he hits it, it's only a 3-point game.
Well, you got to get this rebound. Plenty of time with the explosiveness of Stephon Marbury to get it up and still get his teammates an open three if he can't find one for himself. But you got to make sure you get this rebound. If he misses,
Suns are out of timeouts. He missed. Robinson tips it. Stoudemire. Marbury has it. Here's Marbury on the drive. Hangs a three.
Oh! Man, can you believe it? Stephon Marbury struggling all game. Comes out with the runner at the buzzer. And the Phoenix Suns have shot San Antonio if the bucket counts.
And the officials are conferring near midcourt, and they will take a look. Phoenix wisely ran off the court.
I think he probably got, looks like he definitely got it off. Oh, he got it off in plenty of time.
I felt he did too.
Yeah, what a play. I tell you, again, we talked about
Stoudemire sent the game into overtime, and perhaps a banked-in three has won it.
You know what? I think they're looking to see if it was a three. I think maybe a little bit of lack of experience for San Antonio cost them in this game and their inability to make free throws. The aggressiveness, and San Antonio is going to have to figure out a way to stop shooting so many threes and maybe get back to the penetration.
They will have game 2 in this series.